Well, Stadium Management South Africa are responsible for the running and maintaining of the Rand, Dobsonville, Orlando and FNB stadiums in Gauteng. The CEO of the company, Bertie Grobbelaar, joins me now. Very good afternoon and welcome to Newzroom Afrika once again. When you received the news last night, it must have come as a huge relief to you.
Yes, Vailan, thank you for having me. Yeah, it's a joyous day for the eventing industry and the sport industry. Now, it was a sleepless night, but full of joy.
What has been the income loss over the last 2.5 years?
It's difficult to quantify that, but to give you an indication, obvious business sense dictate that you need to pay your expenses with your income. And we've lost in the excess of 35 million that we paid towards maintenance of the 4 stadia over the last 27 months. So you can just take that as an indicative number. Profit is obviously on top of that, but it's been, we were bleeding, and not only us, all the stadia and all the event managers all over the country did.
So how are you able to still be a running business after that?
Yeah, it's been really tough, and that's why I'm graying without hair today. The fact is that we manage a lot of smaller events. We ate into our coffers. The financial institutions assisted, and then we focused on the relationships we maintained over the last 10 years. For example, our naming rights partner, FNB, they really assisted us in the process by not calling up the naming rights fee and paying that in full. Without the commercial relationships and branding and advertising partners, I wouldn't be sitting here today.
Mr. Grobbelaar, what difference is it going to make now? Because gradually we have seen stadiums being opened. We heard from the interim president of the National Football Supporters Association that even if stadiums had opened 100%, it probably would take some time before they were full to capacity. But what is the difference this time around?
No, I listened to his comments now, and he's indeed correct. Even pre-COVID, not all the PSL fixtures, for example, had 100% capacity. But it is the events and the big concerts, the derbies, the big fixtures that impact on the eventing industry, and that's where we missed the spectators. In addition to that, we clearly experienced a pushback from soccer spectators on the requirement to be in possession of a negative test result or a vaccination certificate. I had numerous inquiries to that, people saying, I'm not vaccinated, I'm not interested, so I'm not coming to the stadium. In my opinion, I'm not saying we're all of a sudden going to have 100% capacity or 50% capacity, but there will definitely be an increase on spectator attendance once the season opens.
Once the season opens, that's not too far away. How many calls have you fielded today from the ecosystem that makes up events and those events that run on a weekly basis at the 4 stadiums that stadium management look after?
A massive amount, and not only people were anticipating this announcement. So during the last week, 10 days, we had numerous inquiries. As you might be aware, the PSL season opens with the MTN 8 Cup in the first week of August. We're still awaiting the actual fixture list, but then a lot of inquiries for concerts and other events today, and as I said, over the last week.
Because of the huge financial impact that not having big events at the stadiums has caused, are the stadiums still at the level and at the standard that we usually expect to see them at?
I can obviously only vouch for our stadia, and I've alluded to the fact the amount of money we spend on maintenance. So I can assure you we are up and running and ready to host an event tomorrow. We've maintained all the venues in accordance with the maintenance plan and structure. I know of venues where there's definitely going to be problems, and we saw that during the last FIFA break. A lot of African countries played their CAF fixtures and the COSAFA fixtures and World Cup qualifiers at our venues because they weren't compliant anymore. And I know there's definitely going to be some stadia in South Africa suffering the same fate.
Do you feel that some of the stadiums that government spent so much money on to get ready for the FIFA World Cup were not maintained during the COVID period because of the lack of events?
Well, not to the extent that they should be, but I think the World Cup stadiums, the management of those stadia will ensure proper maintenance. I think it's the other stadia managed by some of the local municipalities that's definitely going to have a problem. And then, as I said to you, we saw that even international standard stadia that's not compliant to the FIFA and CAF standards at the moment.
Bertie Grobbelaar is the CEO of Stadium Management South Africa. Thank you so much for chatting to us here on Newzroom Afrika.